guys, it is time for my book haul that I wanted to record last night, but the quality was just terrible and it was just a bad video, so I decided to wait until it was nice outside and there was good lighting, because my apartment has terrible lighting at night. It's really dreadful. And so I thought to show you the books that I got today instead of last night, so I hope you forgive me. The first book I got is The Space Between, and this is by Brenna Yovanoff. This book is about a girl named Daphne, and she is half demon and half fallen angel, and she lives in hell, and she is kind of wondering where she stands in life. She doesn't know if she's going to become like a demon like her sisters, or her brother, who is dedicated to like saving the lost souls. Like, he's a good person, and so she's really struggling. And one day Obi, her brother, brings a broken guy to her and saves him, and his name is Truman, and Daphne ends up falling in love with him, and she goes back to Earth, and she has to battle her feelings between Truman and wondering what she's going to become. And the Earth is just completely cold and really soulless, and she's struggling living there, and they're trying to find Obi, who's gone missing, and they have to deal with the violent archangels that are roaming the Earth. And so I just thought that this seemed really good, and I haven't read The Replacement yet, but of course I've heard awesome things about it, so I know that this book should be interesting. The next book I got is The Collector by Victoria Scott. This book is about a guy named Dante, and he is extremely cocky, very ruthless and bad, and he is a soul collector, and his job is to weed through people and put a good or bad stamp on them. And I'm assuming it's for when they go to heaven or hell. I don't know, I haven't read the book yet, obviously. His boss gives him a new task, and he has to collect a soul of a girl, and it's going to be pretty tough for him, and I think they might fall in love. I'm not sure, but this book seemed really great, and I wanted to read you the quote on the back that's really funny. Dante is the kind of guy I wish I'd met when I was 17, and the kind of guy I'd kill if my daughter brought him home. So thought that was funny. So I read about this book on Goodreads, and the second I read the summary, I was like, yeah, I have to read that because it looks really good. The next book I got is called Altered by Jennifer Rush. This book is about a girl named Anna, and she's 17 years old, and she is on the run from her father's agency with 4 boys that her father was kind of experimenting on, and they basically have to weed through their mistaken identities and their stolen identities and erased memories and things like that. And I love the kind of Big Brother-ish books. I think they're really good. And Kim Harrington said that it was a thrill ride of twists, secrets, and betrayals, and I have such a girl crush on her, so I had to read it. The next book I got is The Mockingbirds, and this is by Daisy Whitney. This book is about a girl named Alex, and she is a junior at a very elite prep school, and she believes that she was date raped one night, and the school is very hush-hush about it. They wanted to sweep it under the rug. They don't want anything to tarnish their reputation. And so Alex goes to her roommate about it, and the roommate suggests that she seeks justice through a league that handles it, and they're called the Mockingbirds. And I love books like this. I love to take charge after a crisis kind of character, and so I'm really excited to read this. And there is a sequel out now that Melissa from Melissa's Books talked about, and so I wanted to read this book because I think that the sequel will be good. So, and I was just super excited about this because I love these kinds of books. The next book I got is The Treachery of Beautiful Things, and this is by Ruth Francis Long. This is a story about a girl named Jenny, and when she was 10 years old, she was walking home from school with her brother Tom, and out of nowhere, the woods swallowed Tom whole. Jenny went home and told her mom about it, and of course the mom was like, that's crazy, you know, where is he? And they don't believe her, and so his case kind of goes cold because nobody can find him. And so when she turns 17 years old, she walks by the forest and she can hear her brother Tom's flute playing. And so she follows the sound and she enters the world that Tom was stolen into, and it just sounds really good. I really wanted a high fantasy kind of fairy tale kind of book, and I've heard really good things about this one, and so I'm excited to read it. Next book I got is called The Tragedy Paper, and this is by Elizabeth Laban, and I'm so excited to read this, like super excited. It's about a boy named Tim, and Tim is kind of a loner, and he's I think albino, but he's kind of a loner and, you know, friendless. But he meets a girl named Vanessa, and Vanessa is the queen bee of the group, and they kind of start to form a relationship, but Vanessa doesn't want her reputation to be shattered or anything like that for seeing Tom, and so they decide to keep it a secret. And so I think this book goes back and forth between the three points of view, and the third point of view is from a kid named Duncan, I think. Yes, Duncan. And he kind of tells the story of Tim and Vanessa. And I love, love, love books that are about the forbidden fruit, the hidden relationships. I don't know why, I'm just a sucker for it. So I think this book is going to be awesome. Next book I got, I am so, so, so excited about. I got Eleanor and Park, and this is by Rainbow Rowell, and I'm so excited! This book is obviously about two teenagers named Eleanor and Park, and they meet on the bus every day from their high school, and it's a love story that's set in 1986, and I have heard nothing but good things about this book. Oh God, I am so excited to read it. I wish I could push it up in my reading pile, but I can't. The next book I got is Paranormal See, and this is by Kirsten White. This book is about a teenage girl named Evie, and she is friends with a mermaid. Her ex-boyfriend is a fairy, and she is part of a paranormal agency, and she can see past the glamour and see them as like normal. And suddenly her friends are starting to die, and there's mysterious deaths and nobody knows why. Suddenly Evie starts to get like premonitions and has nightmares about the deaths, and she suddenly thinks that her abilities and the deaths are connected somehow, and she has to figure it out before it's too late. I'd read Mind Games by Kirsten White and I liked it, and so I thought to finally pick this up because I had been eyeing it ever since it came out, so I just thought to go ahead and grab it, so I did. The next book I got I'm really excited for. It's called School Spirits, and it's by Rachel Hawkins, and this is a kind of, I guess, spin-off, not really, but sort of a spin-off from Hex Hall, which I loved that series. It was so good, and so I thought to grab this. But this book is about a girl named Izzy, and Izzy's family has been like slaying monsters for years, and it's just been something that she's always known. And so when she goes into her high school, she has to discover why there are ghosts at her high school. And so I love the covers of Rachel's books, and they just look so neat. And like I said, I loved Hex Hall, so I'm really excited to read this one. These next two books are part of a series, so I'm not going to tell you anything about them. I'm just going to show you that I got them. But the first one I got is Boundless by Cynthia Hand, and this is part of the Unearthly series, and I adore the Unearthly series. It's about angels, and it's so good, and I love, love, love this series, and her writing is really good. So if you haven't picked this series up yet, I suggest that you should. The next book I got is Rise by Anna Carey, and this is part of the Eve series. And oh my goodness, if you haven't read the Eve series, it is so good. It's kind of like Birthmarked, but different, obviously. But it's the same like action as Birthmarked is. And I really, really, really love this series. It's one of my favorites of all time for sure. In case you didn't understand that from my annoying squawking, Two Boys Kissing by David Levithan. David Levithan is a freaking genius, and I'm so excited to read this book. I'm I'm not going to try to explain this book because I'm not the genius that is David Levithan, so I'm just going to read the summary. A chorus of men who have died of AIDS observe and yearns to help a cross-section of today's gay teens who navigate new love, long-term relationships, coming out, self-acceptance, and more in a society that has changed in many ways. And then this little flat part says, two boys kissing are Craig and Harry. They're hoping to set the world's record for longest kiss. They're not a couple, but they used to be. Peter and Neil are a couple. Their kisses are different. Avery and Ryan have only just met and they're trying to figure out what happens next. Both of them worry that something will go wrong. Cooper is alone. It's getting to the point where he doesn't really feel anything anymore. And so, oh, this is so sweet. I'm so excited to read this book. I saw it and I was like, ching! You know how like when you find a book at the library and you inside you go, that's what I did when I saw this book. And I absolutely love this cover. Finally, like it's actually of two boys kissing. Like a lot of the like gay books, like I hate saying that word, homosexual literature has like just one guy on the cover, or it's not of literally two boys kissing. And so I'm so excited that we are progressing and we can have two boys kissing on the cover of a book. Alright guys, that is my huge haul. I hope you enjoyed it and I will talk to you later. Bye!